Stitch Cuties, I'm Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and welcome to the video tutorial for your Rudolph Pincushion. Now, when you join the Christmas Lane block of the month, you get a special welcome kit in the mail that is the complete kit for this little pincushion. It features a cute little Rudolph designed by Amy Brucken and then translated to the Appliqué by Julie Love here at Stitches of Love Quilting. In your kit, you have your full pattern like always. You have your background fabric for your applique, you have the border fabric for around the pincushion, you have your backing fabric, and we also include a free pack of needles. So this video tutorial is going to be how to use your embroidery machine to make this pincushion. So let's get started. Okay, so let's review everything you need to have ready to get started. So I have my hoop loaded with the Sulky Tear Easy stabilizer. I'm gonna go on and put that on my machine. I also have a flash drive with my file loaded. You'll download it from our website, stitchesoflovequilting.com. You'll log in and click on memberships, then Christmas Lane, and you'll see a page where you download your file every single month, put it on your flash drive at home, and load it onto your machine. Pull up the file and have it ready to go. Now we have amazing thread kits available from our friends at Sulky, available at our website, and they are all of the colors you need to complete not only this free pincushion, but of course the Christmas Lane quilt throughout the entire year. So I am using the 40 weight thread kit, which is just fantastic Sulky 40 weight rayon threads. It's all the colors that you need for the entire project. I am now going to open the kit and let's look at all the free goodies you get. So because you are a member of the embroidery file version of the Christmas Lane, you get a free pack of your embroidery needles. These are fantastic to use on any brand of embroidery machine. And I like to change out my needles fairly frequently. If you ever notice your thread breaking, typically that's because you have a little spur in your needle, and that is shredding the thread as you sew essentially. And a nice fresh needle just makes all your projects turn out nicely. Then you have your little border fabric already cut for you. You have your backing fabric. How cute is that? I'm gonna set that aside. You have this fun, cozy Christmas fabric that is the background. That's what we're gonna start with when we're working on this project. So I'm gonna go on and give it a little press because of course it's folded when it's shipped to you. So give it a nice press. If you wanna use a little bit of spray starch, I do recommend that. I lightly starch this just a little bit. And then throughout the entire project, I'll remind you, but I do like to use the same amount of starch on my background fabric throughout the entire process. So we have this ready to go. You don't need to trim it down or do anything to it. It's cut for what you need in your kit, actually larger than you need. You have all your prefused laser cut applique pieces. I've gone on and peeled the backing from all of them. I just put them back in the bag so I don't lose any. And then we have our full pattern. Let me pull this out, so cute. And we have a little welcome message to say thanks for joining. You can meet myself, I'm Brittany, and then that's me, and then Julie, and of course Amy. How fun is Amy, y'all? Oh my gosh, you have to meet her in real life. She's so much fun. Then we're gonna go through the pattern step by step. You have your fabric prep, your cutting instructions. It's pretty much already cut for you. And then you have a full-size placement guide. You're not really going to use this for the embroidery machine, but you are going to look at it as a reference for the numbers to the pieces. You're not actually gonna have to build any units using this though. And then you can see we have step-by-step instructions walking you through. So what I've done is laid out my thread colors in order of appearance in the pattern to stay nice and organized. Next, I'll lay out my applique pieces in order by step. I think that just makes it stay nice and organized. And then in the video, we're simply gonna go through the steps of our embroidery, and then at the end, we assemble the pincushion, which is super, super easy. Again, here's a little list of everything we included and some additional notions we recommend. I like to always, when I'm doing sewing machine applique, I like to have a steady Betty right in front of my embroidery machine. You can kind of see my embroidery machine right here. It's out of shot a little bit. And underneath that, I have a cutting mat. This actually is a cutting mat that comes with the light pad. So a lot of times I'll have my light pad, my applique glass, my cutting mat, and my steady Betty. But for this particular project right now, I'm not gonna need any of the other notions except for my steady Betty and my cutting mat. Then when it comes to taping my initial fabric in place in my hoop, I personally prefer this 3M transport tape. Just order it from Amazon. You get like 6 or 12 rolls or something. It's plenty to last you for a really good long time with all of your applique projects. And then I like to have some Karen K. Buckley scissors by my embroidery machine. This is the large size. I typically prefer to have the medium size by my machine, but where'd they go? I don't know. Scissors walk around here in the studio. So I'm using the large pair today. They're gonna work just fine. And then of course, my Steady Betty. Don't tell anybody how dirty the bottom is. This is the same one I used in every single video tutorial for years and years. So I apologize. Mom yells at me all the time. I need to clean it. I know, but it doesn't hurt anything. It works great. This is a steam fast travel iron. Super great for ironing little pieces when you're working inside your embroidery hoop. So without further ado, let's get started. The first step we're going to do is load the white 1001 thread in our machine, and we're going to prompt our machine for the very first step. So now inside your hoop, you have one stitched square, and what you're going to do is simply take the provided background fabric, plop it right in place, and you're just going to make sure you're covering the stitched square. And again, I'm going to use that 3M transport tape just in the corners to tape it in place. And now we're going to keep that white thread on our machine for several steps, just like directed in the pattern. And when we put this back on, the machine is now going to, of course, stitch that square again so that our fabric is held firmly in place. And it is also going to give us our first round of applique outlines. Okay, so now we have a bunch of applique outlines. They are the exact shape as your pre-fused laser cut applique pieces, and you're simply gonna go in numerical order as you lay them down. So I am going to start with my star. Get it turned the right way. I had him upside down. There we go, and it fits perfectly in the stitched line. So just give this a press. And see, now you see how much I love this little iron because it's so easy to work with in the hoop of my machine. Now you can see off to the side, I'm pulling from a pile. What I like to do is while my machine is doing the previous step, I will organize my pieces in the numerical order I need to grab them so that hopefully I'm paying attention and don't mess up with my pattern, right? So I am going to iron down one arm. We're gonna jump across and we're gonna build our little Christmas tree. Super cute. So all of the fabrics in this kit are, oh, there's actually 3 companies. So Riley Blake, a lot of Lori Holtz, and then Riley Blake Basic Fabrics. Then we have Moda, the classic like Bella Solids and things like that throughout the kit. And we have some adornment fabric, like this cute little mini check that is the little Rudolph. It is a great check that they have at our friends at Adorn It. So all great 100% quality quilt shop fabric for you. So your project will last for years because this is such like, this is of course the cute little freebie you're going to use every month by your sewing machine or your embroidery machine as you make your project, this little pin cushion. But the quilt that you're making is going to be really, really special, I would say, for your whole family. And now, so you want it to last for a really long time, do good work on it. So now the little body goes in place. He's so cute. And now you can see we have the 2 ears and the 2 antlers up top. So we're just going to work our way from left to right with an ear. I need Christmas music playing in the background, don't I? That'd be fun. There we go. That actually would be really, really fun. Like the Rudolph song. That would be appropriate. Alrighty, and press that. And now the last little piece of this step is his right ear. There we go. So now again, keep the white thread on your machine. When we put our hoop back on, the machine is going to give us our next round of applique outlines. Okay, so you see your next round of applique outlines, and let's start up here with the little accents on his ears. So we have these 2 ready to put in place. There we go, and I'm actually gonna lay down both at one time. There we go, give those a press. Then we're gonna put on the top of his head, or his face, I guess you could say. Right here. Then we have all 4 of his hooves, I guess is what they are. I should study animal parts before I film, because I feel when I'm filming I'm always like, what is this? Kind of funny. And if you have a little stiletto or that 4-in-1 essentials tool, it's nice to keep that by your embroidery machine when you're putting in little pieces like this. Sometimes it helps to have something other than your hand to guide the piece. You can use that little stiletto just to make sure you get it perfectly in the right spot. There we go. All right, so now I'm gonna iron those in place. And again, it only takes a few seconds to iron, 3 to 5 seconds, and for sure your piece is on. And again, I'm just using that steam fast travel iron. I don't actually use the steam, but it does steam. There we go. And now we're going to load this back on the machine with the white thread and get our next applique outline. So at this step, we just have one piece to put in place, just like so. And that's not a perfect oval. Do make sure that you pay attention. It's a little pointier over here on the left side. There we go. And then again, we'll load this back on the machine with the white thread for our next outline. Now it's time to iron. I would have to argue maybe the most important piece, and that is Rudolph's red nose. Because what is he without his nose? His whole little identity is that he saves the day with that little shiny nose. And then one more step of applique outline, so load this back with your white thread. Okay, so we're gonna iron on our very final applique piece, and you will notice in your kit, let me pick these up, that you have 2 of the exact same piece. That is because we wanna double line the white so that it's as crisp a white as possible. So all you do to do that is lay down one piece in place, and then we'll simply iron right over it with the second piece. We're gonna do this throughout your Christmas Lane quilt. Let's think of the block. So your very first block that you're gonna get, your official block. Oh look, I had that upside down. Make sure your fusible is facing down. Sometimes that's hard to tell on a little piece. There we go. But for example, your first block, the elf, I know the angel block, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, they all have some double lined areas, and some other blocks might as well too, but off the top of my head, those do for sure. So you're gonna get 2 of all the pieces that you need when you're double lining. So now what we're gonna do, we're to the fun part. Well, it's all fun, but I really enjoy watching my machine stitch. So for the next steps, all we're gonna be doing is changing our thread through these really fun colors. We're gonna leave white on for one more step while it's loaded there. The machine is gonna do the cutest little buttonhole stitch around this little accent on the nose that we just put in, and then we'll go through the colors. So I'm not gonna show you my machine stitching because you wanna watch your machine and make sure your machine is doing what it needs to do. But I am going to stop and talk to you about each thread color and show you what your machine stitched. So without further ado, keep that white thread on for one more time, and let's stitch our first buttonhole stitch around the nose. Okay, look how cute already, just with one little thing stitched. I love, and you're gonna hear me say this throughout all the tutorials, I love watching the designs come to life with the thread. So I apologize in advance for you having to hear that every month, but let's make our project come to life. First up, we're gonna load that 0567, the butterfly gold, and the machine will stitch the buttonhole stitch around our little star. All right, take a look at your perfectly stitched star. Now we're going to load the 1130, the dark brown, and the machine is going to, you guessed it, stitch the belly, the body, the tail, the arms around the head and face, and the outside of the ears, and your tree trunk with this brown color. Alrighty, can we talk about those perfect stitches? Look how great all your brown looks. I love it. So now we are going to load the 1177 avocado so that your one little Christmas tree right here can be stitched. Take a look at your tree. It looks so cute. Now it is time to load the black. The machine is going to stitch all of the hooves of your Rudolph, and it's going to give him a happy little smile. At the end, the eyes are going to be French knots, just to tell you ahead. Oh my goodness, y'all. Look at him with his smile. That makes me happy. That's super, super cute. And don't tell Mom I told you, but did you notice in the picture on your pattern and on the sample here in real life, Mom forgot to draw the mouth or stitch the mouth. Kind of funny. Don't tell her. So in any case, now I'm going to load the 1019 peach, and that is going to give a fun little accent around the inner part of Rudolph's ears. Alrighty, Rudolph's almost done. So now we're going to load the silver gray, the 1218, and of course the 2 antlers for Rudolph will be stitched. Okay, so everything is now stitched except the red nose. So it's time for our final color change on the embroidery machine. We're gonna load 1039, the true red, and of course, Rudolph is gonna have his final nose stitched. Ta-da! Take a look, your Rudolph is stitched from top to bottom, and it looks so cute. So now we are going to trim this. We're gonna take it out of the hoop, get my hoop set aside. I'm going to move my Steady Betty out of the way and reveal my cutting mat. Then I'm going to grab my ruler and my rotary. And what we're going to do is simply trim right along this stitched line. So simply take your ruler and put it right up on that stitched line. And you can use your other line. See, I'm using the edge of the ruler here. I can see my line is perfectly straight here on the top and on the bottom. So I love it. Very nice and square. And we're just gonna trim right there. Now we are gonna turn and do the same thing on this edge. And so again, you line, all 4 sides of your ruler are gonna be perfectly aligned. See, I have my top lines on the stitched line, and then that lines up perfectly across the bottom of Rudolph. I have a flat line across where I just cut, and then of course lined up with that thread right here. So this is gonna be perfectly square. Oh, I love it. And then do the same thing here. And then we just have one more cut across the bottom, and then we're going to move to our sewing machine after this last cut, and we are going to assemble Rudolph. It's so easy. Oh my gosh, so easy. There we go. So this is what you should have after all of your embroidery machine applique steps. So I'll see you at the sewing machine. Okay, so now that your applique is complete, you are going to basically add on the 2 borders on the left and right, top and bottom, put this right sides together with your backing, and voila, you're gonna be done. So I'm going to take the 2 left and right border pieces, and I'm going to sew them onto my little Rudolph. So we're gonna do one on this side. So let's get this sewn together. I'm just using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I have a 1/4 inch foot on my sewing machine. And I'm just gonna simply do my seam right here. And do my seam on the other side. Then we're gonna press it. This only takes a few minutes to do. There we go. I always like to know that my needle's gonna go where I want it, so even when I'm doing a straight stitch, I always use my knob on the side and make sure I'm where I wanna be, just to have it, no matter what machine I'm on. Okay, so now this is what your piece should look like, right? You have a left and right border. We are going to set our seam by simply pressing it while it's still flat. And then we're gonna press open our borders because we want the seams to go towards our border. So if you have your little tool like this or a little seam roller, you can use that to get your seam nice for your iron to iron. For your iron to iron. And then we're gonna do that exact same side. You set your seam when you iron it while it's still flat, right? And that just gives you a better result. And then press it open. I like this tool because also you don't burn your finger, which is always a good thing. And then we are going to sew the top and bottom seams on. So now if you want to use pins right now, you certainly can. I am, for quickness of the video, not going to. Let's hope I don't regret that. So again, your seams are pressed to your border, so away from your applique. And again, now we're doing the top border and the bottom border. So cute. There we go. And I forget that this machine, so I'm using Mom's, what is this? A Janome M7 Continental. I quite like it. It's not the machine I normally sew on. I still sew on a Janome when I'm using a sewing machine here at the office, which is a great machine. I don't remember what it's called. But this one, you know, it's been new in my head for a while. Mom got it, I guess, a year or two ago now. But it's been new, so I've been scared to use it. But then about a week or two ago, I was like, Mom, I did something to my machine. I'm very good at breaking sewing machines accidentally. Can I use this one? Oh my gosh, y'all. I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. So now, just like we did with our left and right borders, we're gonna set our top and bottom border. Oh my gosh, so cute. And press it open. Again, your seam is going towards your border, so very easy. Set your seam, and then there we go. Oh my gosh, so cute. You guys wait till I hold it up for you. You're gonna love it. Take a look. Yay! There we go. So you have all 4 borders on. So now you have your backing cut. I've got a little lint on it. So you're gonna put that face up in front of you. So the nice side is facing you. Take your little Rudolph and marry him to it. So you're gonna have right sides together. And here I would recommend pinning. So I'm gonna pin at my corners to make sure everything stays nice and neat. Make sure not to sew over your pins though. There we go. And a pin right here. Woo. There we go. Do a pin down here. Now when we do this, we are not gonna sew all 4 sides, right? We're gonna sew like 3 1/4 sides or 3 1/3 of the sides because we wanna leave a nice opening that's big enough to stuff it and turn it in, but not so big that you have to do a ton of whip stitching. So about 3 inches is usually a good amount to leave open. So I'm gonna start at where I wanna open. So like if this is my little guy, right? This is the bottom of him. I'm gonna sew from about here all the way around and then end here. So let's do that. And when you do this, you're gonna wanna make sure that you back stitch. So I'm gonna do a few stitches forward. And then I'm gonna go backwards. And so that way it doesn't come unsewn when I'm turning it right side out and stuffing it. There we go. And I don't know if you can hear Buttons in the other room. She's very sad that I came in this room without her. So I apologize if you're hearing her through the camera. She sounds so scary, but if you've seen her, she's the cutest, the cutest big dog. She's a Labradoodle. She's just adorable. Now, we haven't shown her on camera yet, I don't think. Let me take my pin out. But Mom has a new puppy, and she's adorable. She's a mini golden doodle. And oh my gosh, is she cute. Spunky, lots of personality. Oh my goodness. I need one more stitch to get to my 1/4 inch. There we go. So one thing I love about this machine is, I mean, I always like using buttons when I'm sewing, but man, this has all the buttons. You don't even lift the presser foot. Maybe your machine already does this. And actually, one of my machines did it and I didn't even realize, which is kind of funny. I have a spot where I went a little crooked, so I'm backing up and I'm gonna fix that. Because you know, when I'm talking, things happen. There we go. And now we are turning. So now I'm going down my third side. Take my pin out. There we go. I'm going to go on and take my pin out down here at the bottom. There we go. So remember, when we turn that last corner to the fourth side again, we're going to leave an opening again. Oop. One more stitch. There we go. And now we'll go in like 1.5 inches or so. And then let's go backwards, top stitch that off a little bit. There we go. And cut. So I'll hold this up so you can see what yours should look like. I'll show you actually the back side because you can see that contrasting white thread. So see where I have my opening down here, and then on the other three sides, excuse me, I have my 1/4 inch seam, and then it's open here at the bottom. So I am gonna set my seam a little bit before I turn it. I just like to do that. And then when you turn it, I always say this, you feel like you're being so mean to your design, it's gonna make it. Rudolph is gonna be just fine when you turn it right side out. So here we go. Just flip it right side out. There we go. I think this is called birthing it, like when you're birthing a bag or birthing a pincushion or birthing a pillow. It just feels like you're being mean to your design. There we go. And I will tell you, I didn't take my, uh-oh y'all, the doorbell's gonna ring. UPS is here. I didn't take my stabilizer out, which I should have. You will have done so. Okay, so now I get my little 4-in-1 tool out. I use my nails a little bit at the beginning. See, here our doorbell. Do, 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 do. We got new doorbells here at the office, so they're a little more pleasant sounding. So now I'm taking my 4-in-1 tool. See, this is like roughly turned right side out. So cute. Just take your little tool, go right inside here. Well, if I can get back in there. There we go. And just use this to make sure you get everything turned out nicely on your 4 corners. There we go. And then what we're gonna do is press all 4 sides, make sure that seam inside is laying nice and flat. And then we're ready to stuff. And then all you'll do is whip stitch your little guy closed. And then right here, your fabric's gonna naturally wanna fold into that nice 1/4 inch. So let's press. I just go side by side, you know, like edge by edge, I guess you could say. Make sure it's laying nice and flat. And press. I love it. Press, press, press. This is so cute, especially when it's all stuffed. So I highly encourage you throughout the entire process of making your Christmas Lane project, whether you're using your sewing machine or your embroidery machine for the applique, to keep this by your machine because it's just fun and it's happy all year long. And you know what? Christmas is a really happy time of year, and I think it's okay to be happy all year round. So it doesn't hurt to look at something Christmassy all year round. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Let me hold it up for you. Oh my gosh. So there you go. Now this is ready to stuff. So you can see I've pressed it nicely. All my seams look nice and good. Back, super cute. So now I'm simply going to get my stuffing, fill this, and then you can whip stitch it closed. When you are filling it, it depends on how you want to fill it, what you fill it with. So you can use regular like polyfill that you would buy at the store. What we do here at the office a lot, what Mom does a lot, go to like a Walmart, a Target, a wherever kind of store and buy a couple of cheap pillows that are like $5 because that gives you a ton of stuffing, and it's actually cheaper to buy a pillow and unstuff it and stuff it into all these than it is to actually buy the stuffing, which is funny. So go grab yourself like 1 or 2 big pillows from a big box store and you can stuff this. If you want to have it be weighted, a really nice thing is crushed walnut shells. An easy place to source that is actually the reptile department at the pet store. It's called lizard litter. So I guess lizards use crushed walnut shells in their cages or what have you. So that's another nice thing to stuff these with. Of course, you can use wool roving, which always is very nice. So however you want to stuff this, go on and stuff it and then whip stitch it closed. and eagerly await your first box, which is the little elf. He's so cute. I can't wait for you to sew this with us all year, and happy stitching!